ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ज्ञानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Verse 22. वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि। So before I go to this verse, I will clarify a point of the previous verse. Yesterday I talked about two kinds of negation, and I thought of just clarifying. And so these two kind of negations I will explain you through one example of a pot. See, you can negate a pot in two ways. Either you break the pot. So if pot gets destroyed, you say now there is no pot. Negation. This is called physical negation. And the second kind of a negation is by knowledge, in which you will not break the pot. Let the pot be as it is. But in your mind, you gain some knowledge. What is the reality of the pot? And by that you negate the pot. In your understanding, you gain a knowledge that pot is nothing but the clay. Well, in that case also, even though perceptually pot is there, it is not broken. But in your mind, in your understanding, pot is negated. Could you follow what I am? So this is called badaha. Badaha means you negate anything through knowledge, need not break the form, etc., need not destroy the form. So these two negations are there, in which first if you destroy the form, etc., it's called nishedaha, because you will say there is no pot, or else you gain the knowledge of the reality of the object. Here it is pot, and you say that it is only clay. In that case also you have negated the pot. Perceptually it continue, even you will use it also as a pot, but in your understanding, well, pot has become mithya now. So badaha means you make the object with your understanding mithya. That's all it is. That's all. Knowing something real about the thing, knowing about something which is the reality of something about the object, and then you negate it. So there are two kinds of negations. In Vedanta, definitely gaining knowledge only, because Vedanti does not break everything. So he doesn't destroy everything. He keeps, the creation, whatever it is, the creation is as it is. He sees also, he hears, everything is there. Whole creation is as it is for him. But in his understanding, the reality of the creation has gone now, because he gains the knowledge of Brahman or Atma, which is the real thing, which provides the existence to the entire creation. And that is how the world is negated in his understanding, not perception wise. We call the world is mithya for, the world has become mithya for the person. This kind of a negation is talked about here also. So I am not a karta means basically this is understanding that Atma is not a karta, even though kartrutvam will remain in his experience. And that is how lots of activity also he can do. Wise person does lot of activity. And that too, it's all based on the kartrutvam. But that kartrutvam has become now mithya, badhitam. Badha means it has negated in knowledge. Knowing that Atma is the reality of even this karta, so-called karta, ahankara, etc. I am the very witness of ahankara. The ahankara totally depends upon, the karta totally depends upon me, the consciousness, and for existence and for revelation. And so I am the reality of the ahankara. And so ahankara, the karta, etc. is mithya. That is how it is. Just as the pot becomes mithya in understanding, and the clay was found as a real thing. Same way here, Atma is a reality, while kartrutvam, etc. is, or ahankara, etc. is mithya. This is exactly like that. So then kartrutvam will remain, because ahankara will remain. Ahankara can only go when the mind is destroyed. Then if so far the prarabdha is there, he will continue there. And therefore ahankara also will remain. Mind will remain. And it's a medium. So it will, the Atma is going to be reflected in that aham vritti or in the mind, and therefore it will continue. So aham vritti continues, even reflection of consciousness continues, and therefore kartrutvam also continues. And therefore this kartrutvam, but now it is not real. For Ajnani, the aham karta is a reality. For Jnani, aham karta is a mithya. So this is how, this is just for clarification. Now here, vasamse jirnani yatha vihaya. So just as a person gives up old clothes and takes up new ones, so does the self, one who dwells in the body, he give up old bodies and takes other bodies which are new. Navani sanyati, anyani navani sanyati. He takes up the new one. Who takes up? Dehi, Atma, Dehe Bhavaha Dehi, Dehe Bhava, which is there in the body. Swamiji, please explain this. Sometimes you say it is obtaining in the body, and sometimes you say it is all pervading. There are two types of Atma. One is Jivatma and other is Paramatma. No, there is one Atma. Atma obtains in the body. With respect to body, we call it Dehi. That's all it is. It is all pervading. What is all pervading obtains in the body also. Why should then that is how it is all pervading. Well, or pervading space, you give a new name or not? Yeah, you give. Pot space, do you tell or not? Yeah, I am telling pot space. Okay then. That's how it is. So this all pervading consciousness obtains also in the body, manifests in the body, because there is a subtle body and it is going to be reflected, and therefore it obtains there. And that is how we call this, with respect to this body, we call this as a Dehi. And same way, all pervading space with respect to pot is called pot space. But don't think that there is a pot space and there is all pervading space. Mahakasha and Gatakasha, both are different things. No. There is only one Akasha, Mahakasha, pot space and the pot, everything in Akasha. Everything is in one Akasha only. But with respect to pot, we say it is pot space. There is nothing called a pot space and Mahakasha. And therefore, once the pot breaks, this Gatakasha merges into Mahakasha. Don't think so. Don't think so. There is one space alone. There are no two spaces. The small space merges into the big space, etc. And therefore, this is how, therefore, sometimes if they say the Atma, gains the new body and gives up the new body. Where is this, Swamiji? Atma is all pervading and you are saying it is Satyam and all this is Mithya. How can he gains this, etc.? Well, this is with respect to body, we say like this. And that is how it has been explained even in the Chandogya Upanishad. And other Upanishads also, everywhere they always talk about like this. Where they first talk about the whole creation. And then whole creation including the body also. Everything is created. And then Paramatma thought that what will this body do without me? I have to enter into the body. Then only all transaction will be possible as a seer and hearer and this and everyone. So, without consciousness, there is no use of the body. And therefore, Paramatma thought that I have created everything, but it will be useful only when I enter into that. And so, all-pervading Paramatma entered. Now, how come all-pervading Paramatma entered? All-pervading means must be present in the body also. And therefore, it is just manifest as a reflected consciousness. As the mind forms, immediately it's reflected. So we say Paramatma has entered. It is actually Paramatma now manifest as a Jivatma in the body. It's a reflected consciousness. That's all it means, nothing more than that. As the pot is formed, the pot space also is formed. In reality, there is no pot space formed. Only one space alone. It cannot form. So that is called Pravesha Shruti. Anena Jivena Atmana Anupravishya Namarupe Vyakarvani. Paramatma has entered into the body as Jiva. Now, all-pervading Paramatma should be present before entering. And therefore, it is just as the subtle body is formed, immediately it reflects the consciousness. So we say it is obtaining in the body now. So and is it gets reflected in the mind or in the I thought, whatever. Well, then it will appear very limited because the I thought or even the mind is very, very limited. And therefore, like I can give you example of a sun also. The sun. 1 minute, somebody. So. Sun also, as the mirror is formed, sun entered. Sun entered. So sun entered means what? The reflection is formed. Sun already, even they were forming they were making the mirror in the sunlight only. And therefore, it is not that the sun has entered. We say like that because the reflection is formed. As the mirror is made, the reflection is formed. I will give you another example. Like there is a bucket outside which is empty. If empty bucket is there, so then there is no reflection because medium is not there. As you add water into that, the sun enters. We say sun enters. Wow, sun enters means what? Even the bucket also, full bucket is in sunlight. Sun has already pervaded the bucket. Sun has already pervaded the water also which you are going to fill. Everything is in sunlight only. Sun has already pervaded everything. The all-pervading sunlight has already pervaded even empty bucket and the water, everything. But as you add the water, the reflection of sun appears. So we say sun has entered into the bucket. Could you follow now? That is how we have to understand. And that reflection of sun is definitely going to be limited because the bucket is limited, etc. And so same all-pervading Atma now obtains in the body as Jiva. Why Jiva? Because Jiva has all the things. I mean, what is there in the mind, this ahankara or a jiva or this reflected consciousness is going to tell it, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am karta, bhokta, etc. My punya, my papa, etc. I am seer and etc. Hearer and this. I am even gross body, I am black and fair and this human being. As he pervades up to the gross body, he is going to claim everything. And therefore the jiva looks very vishishta, very specific. Anyway, this is what I mean. So here Dehi means we should consider as, because Dehi is nothing other than basically a consciousness or Atma alone. So the self, one who dwells in the body, who is obtaining in the body, who dwells in the body, gives up old bodies and take other bodies which are new. Now first thing is, we were seeing yesterday word Naraha. Actually the Naraha word is obtaining in the example. You can see there. In the first line is obtaining, Naraha. And therefore it can take a simple human being, I mean. Because just as a person gives up old clothes and takes up a new one, etc. So it's the ordinary person. So we need not have to imagine a Naraha here means something very big. But sometimes it's a system that what is obtaining, a word which is obtaining in the illustration, you can take it even illustrated also. So you can definitely, the Dehi, you can take it as a Naraha itself. So here otherwise the other word is there, Dehi is already there. So say Naraha for the illustration, Dehi is for illustrated. So just as a person gives up old clothes and takes up a new one, same way this self, the Atma, gives up the old bodies and takes up the new bodies, etc. etc. So you need not have to take here, Naraha means some specific meaning, but still we can take, because there is a system that you can take the word which is obtaining in the illustration, you can take it to the, the meaning of that you can take it even for the illustrated. And so we'll take a specific meaning for Naraha. And I have told you yesterday, Naraha means as such a human being, and the human being is a human being when he has this excellent knowledge and everything, tapasya and dhanam and everything. Well, we have seen that. And Naraha also means, Vyasacharya says Naraha means Ishvaraha. Narati iti Naraha proktah Paramatma Sanatana. So Naraha means Paramatma, or that is Atma. So the Atma or Paramatma is called Naraha, or even they can extend the meaning, the person who is enlightened, person who survives eternally as a Brahman is also called Naraha. So nariyate iti Naraha, they say he doesn't get destroyed, etc. They give this meaning. And this person, the wise person, is not destroyed. Definitely is not destroyed. Brahmavid Brahmaiva bhavati. He knows himself as Brahman. Therefore he says I am immortal. Well, that's correct. And therefore Naraha, you can take it as the one who doesn't get destroyed. One who knows that this body, etc. are just like a clothes. And the old clothes as I change and the new clothes I wear. Same way I am free from all this gross body, etc. And I am Asanga Paramatma, etc. I am Brahman. I am consciousness, limitless consciousness. One who knows, he is also called Naraha. So you can extend that meaning definitely. So this is how the word Naraha is being told. Now Yatha and Tatha we have to consider. Yatha means the illustration. In the verse there is a Yatha in the first line. In the second line there is a Tatha, means illustrated. First Yatha, and we have seen the syntax also. Yatha Naraha Jirnani Vasamsi Vihaya. Just as means Yatha, that indicates illustration. So just as a person gives up old clothes and takes up a new ones. And very beautiful thing is here, in illustration the cloth is taken and illustrated the body is taken. You just see, old cloths are given up, new ones are taken. Old bodies are given up, new ones are taken. So body and cloth is why why illustration is of a cloth for a body, because there is a similarity. Drashtanta means drashta sadrishaha, drashtantaha. They call like this. Drashta sadrishaha. So there is similarity between them. What is the similarity? I will tell you. See, the word vasas means cloth. From that the word vasamsi. So it's a plural, of course. Vasaha, vasasi, vasamsi, those kind of forms are there. So vasas shabda is formed. Vasas means a cloth. That word is formed from root vas. And vas, the root vas has a vas achadane, means to cover. To cover. And definitely you know the cloth covers the body. And therefore it is called vasaha. And if now let's go further. Cloth covers the body. That's one thing. But especially in winter, what happens is, the person is fully covered from the cap and then what you call scarf or muffler. I don't know what word they use. Maybe whatever it is. So you take it on your own way. So scarf. And even they may put even because pandemic situation, and so therefore so they may even cover this also with, and then hold down what you call down jacket or what, whole thing, and then socks and everything. You see just only woolen clothes, and the person is coming from a distance, and you are seeing only clothes because he is fully covered. Everything is covered. Except eyes, definitely except eyes. And therefore, even though you are seeing the clothes only, you say the person is coming. You never say clothes are coming. You have never told. What does it mean? That cloth and the person, that is body, has become one. Am I right? Cloth and person has become as though one. So have identified with each other. That point you should remember. So, as though the clothes are totally superimposed upon a person, and you say, if I am asking you, what do you see? You say, I am seeing Mr. So and so. You are seeing only basically clothes only, but you never mention a single word about a cloth. You say, I am seeing so and so person coming. Means entire clothes are superimposed upon the person. Right? The body, I mean. Here person means the body. So as though they become one. Clothes are superimposed upon the body. Then further, third point. Attributes of the clothes are also superimposed upon a person. For that we will have to go to a different situation. Whenever any public function is there, or even any celebration etc. is there, people wear very good clothes. Beautiful. I mean, all the women also, they wear so beautiful saris. Why do they wear beautiful saris? You can answer me very well. The sari is beautiful, but once you wear sari, you appear beautiful. So that is why the beauty of the vastram, beauty of the cloth also is superimposed upon the person. They always say, there are two words in Sanskritam. One is vasanam, other is vachanam. Vasanam means a cloth, vachanam means a speech. Words. So they say the first impression of a person is by vasanam, by clothes. And then the second impression of the person is by his speech. Could you follow what I am saying? And therefore always people wear beautiful clothes, even they don't know how to speak. That's a different matter. But they always wear beautiful clothes. And they wear beautiful clothes not to show the beauty of the cloth. They want to show the beauty of themselves. I mean, they want to appear beautiful. That's how people wear the silk khadi and everything. Silk, there is a khadi, silk khadi. If you wear it, any person will look so gorgeous. So this is how not only the cloth is superimposed upon the body, the attributes of the cloth also is superimposed upon the body. There are two types of superimposition. In fact, I told you in the morning, of course. The first superimposition is a dharmi adhyasaha. It's called tadatmya adhyasaha, in which two entities or dharmis, two objects become one. First thing. And then the attributes of the object which are lying in the respective objects, they also become one. First, dharmi adhyasaha, which is called tadatmya adhyasaha. They sometimes call artha adhyasaha also, which Arsagara talks about it. But anyway, so this is the first adhyasa. The body has its attribute and the cloth also has an attribute, right? But cloth has a specific color, cloth has a particular texture, I mean it's wool, etc., everything. It has its own attribute. The cloth is a basis of those attributes. Body is a basis of its own attributes. First, there is a identification between cloth and the body. And once they are identified, once they become one, as though, we have to add as though, that you keep it as it is. So, once they become as though one, then the attributes also, respective attributes also looks, they are also superimposed upon each other. And that is how the body, I mean the cloth is superimposed upon the body, and then the attributes of the cloth also is superimposed upon the body. That's one thing. Body is also superimposed upon the cloth. Yeah. You see the person has, this is in southern India. I mean even in any part of India. Even from woman, she wears sari, you can tell. Let's say talk about a man. He has wear a particular style of a dhoti, etc., and in a shirt, etc. Then from the dhoti itself, you tell that this person is a South Indian or something, right? So the person basically is superimposed upon what? On the cloth. A particular style of a sari one wears. Well, definitely you say, somebody has come again, I think. So, I mean, sari. In India, I mean, state to state, people wear different ways of, I mean, women especially wear, different way of wearing the sari. And from that itself, like Bengali. So the person is a Bengali because he is born in a Bengali family, etc. She is born in a Bengali family. But the way she wears that sari, you say that she is a Bengali. What happened is the attribute of the body or the body itself is superimposed upon the sari. Could you follow now? So not only the sari is superimposed upon a body, I mean the cloth is superimposed upon a body also is superimposed upon a cloth. This is how it is happening. And in southern India, this is a very, very prevalent. Even if you touch their dhoti, just a dhoti, little touch, they will go back. They will not go to temple. They will first take the bath, and then they come back. They get wild also. You have touched just a part of a body, part of a dhoti. Still they say, why are you touching me? Why are you touching me? So what happens is, you have touched just a cloth, but they thought he is touched, and therefore it shows that the body is superimposed upon cloth. Body is superimposed upon cloth. Then only if you touch a cloth, he feels he is touched. And so this is the way it goes on. That's how it is. Well, come to our Vedanta now. Instead of a cloth, take the body. And there was a adhyasa between cloth and the body. Here there is a adhyasa between body and the self. And it is very beautiful. I don't know how Bhagavan has given this example. Just as the cloth covers the body, here the body covers the self, because dehe bhavaha obtains in the body. So body as though covers the self. Could you follow what I am saying? Just as the cloth covers the body, same way body covers the self. As though. That's how I have clarified everything. Swamiji, all pervading thing how can it be covered? That's how I told everything. Dehi, Bhagavan says, Dehe Bhavaha, which obtains in the body. The space obtained in the pot is called pot space. Same way Dehi. So it is obtaining in, means the body has covered it. And so same kind of adhyasa goes on. So there I told you, cloth covers the body. First point. Here body covers the Atma. Now you see, that's how Bhagavan has given an example of a cloth for the body. Just as you give up old clothes and wear a new, wear a new one, same way you give up the old bodies and wear the new one. Take up a new body. So body and cloth is equated because cloth covers the body, same way body covers the self. And definitely the word the vasas has that meaning, achhadane, means it covers. Okay, so this is the first point. Second point. Then I told you that, you see a person who is coming with all woolen clothes, and then even if you are seeing the cloths, you tell that I am seeing the person. You should actually tell, I am seeing a muffler, I am seeing a down jacket, I am seeing his cap, woolen cap, his or her woolen cap. But you never say so. You say, I am seeing person. Means basically both have become one. I mean all the clothes are superimposed upon a person, and that's how you are able to say, well, I am seeing a person. Could you follow? Clothes are superimposed upon the body. Same way here also, whole body is looked upon as a self. Self is looked upon as a body, and so you say, I am a human being. That's your experience. The way that is, the experience is what? Even though you are seeing clothes only, you say, I am seeing a person. Same way here also, the body which covers the Atma, and so you say, I am a human being. So this is how it is. So body is superimposed upon the self. There the cloth is superimposed upon the body. Okay, the third thing. Attributes of cloth, as I said, is seen as the attributes of a body or a person. Here also, attributes of the body are superimposed upon the self. And that's how you are saying, I am tall, I am short, I am this, I am healthy, etc., etc. And there the attributes of the cloth are superimposed upon the person, like beautiful sari, etc., whatever. And so here also attributes of the body are superimposed upon the self. And the fourth point is, I told you even the body is superimposed upon the cloth. Here also Atma is superimposed upon the body. Don't say that. Never say. Swamiji, body is superimposed upon the Atma. Atma is superimposed upon the body. What is superimposed is mithya. And therefore, Atma is superimposed upon the body. If you say, Atma also become equally mithya. So don't say that. then how to say? If body is superimposed upon Atma, then definitely they have identified which is there, then definitely other way also it should be there. Yeah, it should be there. We say, Atma appears in the body as a conscious being. That's all it is. The consciousness of the Atma due to samsarga, because they are, body is basically non-separate from the Atma. And therefore, the consciousness which is Atma also appears in the body, and that's how you feel, I am a conscious being. That's all. This is called samsarga adhyasa. Samsarga adhyasa means through contact. Through contact. But you should understand, contact means not contact between two objects. It is contact between, basically, like it's a contact between wave and water. That kind of a thing. Contact between wave and water. So you will find the attributes of the water in wave, and you find the attributes of the wave in water, with the size, etc. Particular shape of the wave, etc. all appear in water. And if you take see any wave, you find the attributes of what? Water in that, right? And this is how we call it as a tadatmyatyasa. There you can definitely tell water is superimposed upon the wave, and wave is super. There you can definitely tell. Because it's an example in this empirical reality. But here it is different. Body and the self is not of the same reality, and therefore you should not say Atma is superimposed upon the body, etc. Because of the samsarga, because body being non-separate from the self, the body also appears as though existent. Body also appears as though appears as a conscious, and that is how this kind of adhyasa, etc. takes place. Anyway, how does then body appears conscious? I have given you the mechanism. Definitely, Atma reflects in the subtle body, that is mind, in the I thought, and then it appears, that reflected consciousness pervades the entire subtle body, and through the subtle body it pervades the entire gross body, and therefore this gross body also appears as conscious, and subtle body also appears conscious. So that's how the senses are all conscious, and they are able to collect the data, etc. They are able to experience of color and experience of sound and everything through the senses. Well, they experience something means they are conscious, but this is through the reflected consciousness. That's how you know everything now. So this is how the going on. That's how Bhagavan has given the example of a cloth. Now I will go ahead. What happens is here Bhagavan has given this as illustration of this body, and then he says Vasamchi jirnani vihaya aparani navani grunati. The old body, the sharira, also is given up and new one is taken, like the old cloth is given up and new one is taken. And sharira means what? Sharira means what? We have already seen. Sharira means which disintegrates, right? Which is subject to disintegration. I have told you in the morning, Shiryamanatvat Shariram. That's very beautiful. Parallel topics are going on there or here. Almost. Even this you can add in your morning points, that you can think even this terms also, how the old cloths are given up and new one are taken. And therefore I am separate, I am distinct from the cloth, etc. Definitely. That way you can definitely think. Anyway, so Sharira means which is subject to disintegration. And same way the bodies, therefore become, useless, because they have that stage of disintegration. So they become useless in time because of three reasons. Either natural aging process, because it is going to create a tremendous doubts. Looking at your experience of the people giving up the body, it is not that simple. That jirnani vihaya. Jirnani, we have seen this. Jirnani means the old bodies. We have never seen, we have seen even young people are dying, etc. We have to answer all these questions. And therefore, the body is subject to disintegration, either one, due to natural aging process, one. Second, disease. Or third, abuse. Either of them, because of the three reasons, body disintegrates. That's why it's called shariram. Now, abuse may be caused by someone's wrong action, like murder, etc., or person's own wrong action, like exposing to a very infectious disease without taking protection, or drinking too much of alcohol, or smoking the cigarettes too much. So person himself abuses and then so his body disintegrates, or somebody abuses his free will and injured this body, rupture the body, well then disintegrates also. So a person destroys body, so it becomes then useless, old and useless, jirana. Now here we will start this. So just as I am the one who I am the one who wear these clothes, and I keep on wearing also, right? New one, old I will discard and new I will wear. Same way I discard old shariram. Old is in bracket, you can keep it in bracket. Old means what? We have to discuss that thing only. So I keep on this wearing even the new shariras. I take up the new shariras and I give up the old bodies also. Same way like the old clothes and etc. So when the clothes, in terms of clothes, when they are useless, definitely you throw them away and take up a new clothes. So this process is repeated again and again. That we know for sure. Giving up the old clothes and taking up a new clothes, etc. So similarly, there is a wearer of the body also. Just as there is a wearer of the cloth, there is a wearer of the body also. And that is how we are comparing a cloth and the body. Wearer of the cloth is this conscious being. Wearer of the body is which is obtaining in the body. And bodies, they have what obtains in the body, who wears this body is called Dehi. So body is like a costume. Body is like a costume. Once he wears it, he is called Mr. So and so, Mrs. So and so, or Miss so and so, etc. etc. So anyani navani sanyati. Jiranani, Bhagavan says, Jiranani vihaya, anyani navani sanyati, giving up the old and takes up the new. That itself proves, before we go ahead, that itself proves that Atma is Nitya. Body is Anitya. Body is subject to disintegration. So this Atma doesn't die. Whether you want to take it as a Jiva, you can take it as a Jiva, or you want to take it as a Paramatma, that is Atma, Satchidananda Atma, you can take it as a Satchidananda Atma. No difference. And so it always keep on going. And even when the Jivatvam dies, let us clarify if you want. Even when the Jivatvam dies, the Jiva does not die. You should understand. Jiva never dies because Jiva is essentially the consciousness, right? Jiva's truth is what? Consciousness. And therefore Jivatvam dies. Jiva never dies. Only that notion. Jivatvam means what, Swamiji? I am Jiva, that notion dies. That's all. I am Jiva, that notion dies. Mahavakya does this job only. Mahavakya does a job of removing the notion that I am Jiva. That's all. There is nothing else. So Krishna wants to point out that Atma is always there. It is Nityam. And never does this Atma subject itself to disappearance. So Dehi in valor continues to be there. He takes up a new bodies and definitely he continues. Now questions can be asked here. See, when a person is really old, and the body is no longer useful, etc. Like a man, suppose and he is a 99-year-old, let us say. A person who is a 99-year-old, he is unable to hear, unable to see, unable to talk, unable to walk. He cannot do anything. He cannot even digest food, and even he cannot even open his mouth, and even if he opens his mouth, there are no teeth. to chew the food, etc. I mean, such a condition is there. And such a body is definitely become useless. And when such a body is useless and the person gives it up, so we can understand that it is like a very old cloth. So you touch it and it gets torn. I mean, such a kind of a cloth. So easily you can give it up. So same way this person also, his body is like that, very old cloth like. So he can give it up. We can understand that, what Bhagavan says that. But instead we have seen the people giving up the body in accidents. Or that's due to somebody's mistake or one's own mistake. That's one thing. Or someone is dying because of a homicide. Well, there also, of course, this also is a difficult, but we can understand that the other person has abused his free will and he has performed a very destructive action of shooting, etc. And you become a victim. And so basically, and what happens is, we are going to discuss this tomorrow morning also. What happens is they are shooting, they are injuring this gross body. And the gross body, the subtle body, if the lives, basically, then I told in the morning, when the subtle body is there inside, this gross body is alive. Right? I told you that. Then subtle body, even in the injury, continues to be there. Then the body remains, this gross body remains alive. But there is a limit. There is a limit. So if the gross body has a certain injury, and still subtle body can remain there and keep this gross body alive to the certain extent. I will give you an example. Like, there are certain vital organs in the body. And one is kidney. So, if from the gross body, if of the two kidneys, suppose one kidney is removed because of some infection or something, still this gross body can remain alive because the subtle body can stay there. Well, then suppose heart, that's another vital organ. Heart functions, I don't know, some doctor can tell me, but heart functions even at 20% or 25% capacity, I have heard so. Even with, there are so many other blockages, or due to old age, heart's function has become very slow now. Still it continues at this time. At this rate, 20-25% capacity, with this much capacity, it still runs. So if gross body has vital organs which are injured or which are because of any reason, if they are there and even they are functioning to a certain capacity, the subtle body can remain in the gross body. Third thing is a liver. Is also considered as a vital organ. Even liver also, perhaps maybe part of the liver has gone, it has gone bad or something, then still person can survive. Even brain also sometimes happens that a part of the brain is damaged due to some reason, still person can survive. Well, but if gross body is beyond certain limit, if gross body is injured or whatever, or maybe somebody has abused the free will and shoot the person, etc., then subtle body leaves this gross body. So to an extent, there is a minimum requirement for the subtle body to be able to operate within this gross body or a physical body. So we should understand this thing. It is exactly like car. Car can run to an extent. Even some of the parts are damaged. Still it can run. But beyond certain limit. Or a particular part is damaged, well, then the car cannot run. Like a spark plug or something. Maybe there or not, I don't know. I just say like that. You should take it, whether you are better judge for this. So, at least in scooter, I know that spark plug used to be there. So a spark plug, if you remove that, well, it will not. But otherwise, spark plug is there, even little carbon is there and some other problems are there, still scooter runs. And that's how old scooters are running, even with this capacity. but some of the component is just gone, or beyond certain efficiency some parts are damaged or something, well, it cannot run. Then a new body has to be found. This gives, it is given up this. Okay, all this is understood, Swamiji. This is understood. So, well, such kind of a thing happens. Somebody shoots a person and then gross body gets ruptured. Well, it goes. And even accident can happen because of somebody's mistake or my mistake or something, then this body goes. Well, everything I am able to understand. Or because of old age, the vital organs are functioning now at a particular strength, etc. And beyond that, of course, then it gives up. So subtle body leaves this and the gross body becomes dead. Everything, gross body is given up. I understand that very well. And but there are instances where such a thing has not happened and still gross body is given up. What? A person develops a arterial aneurysm in no time. A arterial aneurysm is a bubble kind of a thing or like a balloon kind of a thing. Not a bubble, sorry. A balloon kind of a thing in artery, main artery. A balloon kind of a thing. And it is, Pujya Swamiji used to call it as a time bomb. It develops because of some reason. And person never knows. It is there, but it never knows. He is sitting on a time bomb. He doesn't know. And one day it ruptures. And person goes. Maybe 32. I have seen the person who has gone in arterial aneurysm. And he was just 32. Now, how can Bhagavan says Jirnani, Sharinani? Jirnani. Old bodies are given. When this person has given up the body which is just so young, even less than that also you will find. Even people, the child is born and gives up the body. That's also is there. So many instances are there. So this Jirnani means what? Old bodies. Where is the old body? A 16-year-old boy also gives up the body, and 32-year-old also, and then 5-year-old also, and everyone. So this is to be understood. What is this Jirnani? Anyway, and one more thing is, that is okay. But person has not done anything wrong also. How can he give up this old body? How can he give up the body? That's another point. The person, that's what we always feel also. How can he, it's not, Swamiji, he was so good person. How can he left like that? This child, who has not done anything wrong, he's just taking a birth. When he is born and he becomes orphan. Because the father was working in military, army, and he lost his life, fighting to the terrorist. And she was pregnant and she gave a birth. When she gave a birth, some complication arises in delivery and she also gave up the body. So the child who is born has automatically become an orphan. It's a very tragic situation. And so these all kinds of things are there. Energetic people, ambitious people, and they have lots of plans. They call many irons in fire, etc. Well, they succumb immediately. They're struck down by some reason. And if you see their life, they are so good people. And so all these things, keep on, nagging our mind. How come this, old person, that 99-year-old, and it's an old cloth, and so you remove the old cloth and so that you can get a new cloth. Well, that we understand. Or the person does some kind of does abuse. Either he abuses himself or someone abuses his body, whatever. Still he or she can give up the body. That also is understood. But what about this? Person develops a leukemia. Within no time goes. No time. Within no time. Earlier, he has done an entire body checkup and nothing was there. And after 3 months, the person is not there. What happened? In between, he found out that he has a leukemia, and it spread and to the other parts of the body, and he just left. Very young person, and so good, so helpful to others and everything. And then the problem arises: how can such a person gives up the body? What is the reason? Jirnani dehani vihaya, sharirani vihaya, we can understand. But answer to this kind of questions, what will be the answer? We'll have to see tomorrow. We'll see that. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.